Yeah, no, they have a lot of work to do. And then if you go downstairs, yeah.
What is your role in Luchetti Krelle?
Okay, so in here my role is a senior designer, supervising the whole job to make sure like we have a team. Like now we have a team of 4 for this job. So and I am the person like to make sure that everything is working. It's going it's smoothly.
Yeah. How can an object designer work with an interior designer?
Oh, that's amazing. That's really good. I find like in the studio and anywhere, we always have people with different backgrounds because we really need each other's expertise.
I guess that goes back to like what we were talking about before about having different cultural backgrounds. And
So we design our furniture eventually here, like often even like I design our furniture, the bars, like the bar count and everything. That's a designer. We have an idea about light fitting. So you can commission someone to actually design light fitting for you and then fabricate.
Yeah.
Usually like the graphic designer, like whoever does the feature lighting for us, for example, they will liaise with the construction of it as well.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
it's like a package thing, you know?
Yeah.
You commission the design and then the person will take care of the production. Yeah.
What issues do you have in regards to intellectual property? So do any circumstances come to mind?
But each case is a different case.
I
never happened to me. I had any issues with that, but I can see some people can get really upset because now, like for example, one thing we don't do here, we don't use replicas.
Yeah.
So if someone comes like a chair, it's kind of very cheap, but it's a designer chair. We don't get that. Because we don't need to copy. If you want to reduce costs, you can design something else. You want to copy something that someone already did. So.
I think
that's the idea.
Yeah.
So that's not good.
No.
So we really care about our relationship with designers.
Yeah, because then I guess that means that you can't really use that person anymore.
Yeah,
because
so
you're going to ruin the relationship there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you often find yourself having to redo designs to fit customers' needs?
Yeah, usually budget sometimes. The client, it happens sometimes. The client, they get very excited about everything, so they want everything. And then you design, think, okay, let's do it, and go for it. And then when the costs come, usually like in the before construction, they get your drawings and then you price it. And then when they see the final cost, they no, maybe, as you said, we have to take this feature away, that feature away. So then you kind of have to redesign some things. So that happens often, and that's something we always allocate in our program because that time it will happen.
Yeah. So. And how do you navigate like public liability concerns because you're working in such public spaces? Have you do you contact architects? Do you contact industrial designers, electricians to help you?
So what happens is in Australia is really like I come from South America and that's not so rigid, but here it's like you really have to be very careful with everything you put out there.
Yeah.
Like you choose a tile for the floor, and if it's slippery and someone falls, they can come and sue you and go against you in your company. Then it's a fortune for you to fix things. So whatever happens, whatever we propose in our design, we had to ask for certificates. So the electrician, he is going to do all the work for you. In the end of the day, when he finishes, he needs to give you a certificate that he is complying with the Australian standards. And now because we have the whole code, Australian Standards Codes, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, and the BCA as well, which is like the building codes of Australia, which is now it's NNC. I don't even know what I always say BCA. So he has to give you everyone in a job, the structural, the electrical, the supplier for the floor. They give you a certificate that it is complying.
Yeah. sorry to
No,
interrupt.
it's okay.
How about like if you're designing a space? I know the only way I can describe it is like sometimes with in the past, like I've spoken to people who make ads, and in the past they have concerns with making like smoking ads. Are there any places? I think you mentioned like gaming rooms. Like, does that ever come as a concern to you, or do you think? Yeah. Like, do you think about the ethical like
Impact.
Yes,
impact
I
of
know,
your
like designing
spaces?
gaming rooms. In fact, this thing has gaming rooms, and I feel it's pretty sad what we do there with gaming rooms, and I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's by design.
Yeah.
I find like these gaming rooms we nowadays design, like if you think about the whole club, like for example, this club has the whole area of wellness. So they have this place where they have a gym, they have a swimming pool, they have all these really good things for the family as well. And then like a whole bunch of restaurants and bars and things like that. And so for the social, for the community, they provide like lots of benefits. So that's nice as well.
Yeah,
there is
great
a good side of
course.
it as well.
Of
It's not
course.
only gaming. And I know like the majority of the money probably comes from gaming. I don't know how things are there, like the financial situation there, but I feel like everything else they provide, these clubs provide nowadays, is pretty. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's great that you've considered that when you were thinking about your design.
How do you actually select the designers that you work with? So, like, how do they?
I like, me personally, I find personality is more important than skills. So I feel like skills you get once you're there. And but I feel like our personality is something that sometimes you can't change.
Yeah.
So you can fix some things sometimes, like because we're all evolving and we're growing and we learn. But some traits you just feel are not, like for example, if someone is very competitive, for example, me personally, I don't like working like competitive teams. I think like the team, we all have to help each other because we all have different skills upstairs there. Like everyone has such like a different skill to bring to the table. So just try to help. Like the more like I actually feel working with talented people is the best thing. But just like but this talented person needs to share what they have.
They also might not have the same work ethic as somebody who's had to study hard to get where they are as well.
No, I think definitely look like if you guys want to go out there to look for a job, be who you are, be very transparent. We designers, we always benefit from people around us. So if you can help me, it's great, because it's such a relief, because you have someone that can actually come with a great some attitude. Propose something that's useful for you, so beneficial. So, but like if I feel like a difference between working solo and now as a team is so much better with the team because of all these collaborations. I used to teach before, and I used to say like if someone was struggling with the software, and we could see that the end images weren't that great, but the thinking behind was great, and the person could express through photographs or through words like what was. So I think that's because as you said, it's really hard when you're on your own studying, because you have to do everything. And it's not what happens here. Like I can't do a SketchUp, for example. Someone is doing the SketchUp right now for the job. So I don't need to stress about it. So but it's not happening for you.
You might be able to make like a fabulous like little sketch model to show them, or a drawing, and then they can say, oh, okay, well I'll translate that onto SketchUp for you.
So the beauty is that like out there, like you just combine skills from everyone else. So it's easier.
So this is coming from like your own practices before you came and worked here. So when you were sole trading or contracting, how did you put a price on your work?
Okay, so I used to charge by the hour. Like I would say, okay, it's a restaurant, it's very complicated, it has I don't know, like this huge kitchen or whatever, like, all the things you consider and then that's going to take an hour to design, and then plus hours to deal with the engineer, then plus, so I would have like an hourly, like how many hours, and then I would come with a price. And then travel distance, for example, one is, I don't know, in Adelaide, the other one is in, so all these take, now all these other expenses you have, and so, but actually having said that, the expenses is something that the client usually pays separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So traveling, accommodation, and all these things is a separate thing.
Yeah.
But you actually spend 2 hours in airports going
those
and
little
coming.
extra.
So all these things, like all these hours you spend, that has to be part of your own.
And you also
Take into account.
How did you navigate pricing when you first started designing?
I feel like it happens in the beginning, like when you're young and you want to learn, that you kind of sacrifice a bit the price because it's an investment on your knowledge. So I feel, But then when you start being more confident and knowing what you do, so then you are more, you're faster, and then I think you start then thinking, oh, I can charge more. So, but that's something you just feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like our designers usually have this tendency of charging less than they should.
Yeah.
So that happens, like sometimes, like it happened often to me that I actually was paying to do the job because it was like the unforeseen things happened and I didn't put that into account, and then I had to finish and to do the job.
And you have to showcase your work and
So I find that, and that's the thing as well, like reputation is everything. So then when like Luchetti, people see them as like a leading design company, so then you attract the good clients. So
so you have more freedom to experiment and push your design.
I think
as
even
well.
the client.
Have you ever dealt with any budget changes?
Yeah, so sometimes what happens is every case a different case. Sometimes the client comes and say, look, I have only, I don't know, $1 million to do it, and we have to do it. So that's kind of easier for us to do it because we have a budget up front. But it happens often that they don't know exactly how much.
Yeah.
So that is when we change, and then like I'll tell you, I'd say 80% of the jobs we do, there is a budget change. Design change because of the budget. We call that phase in our job. It's called value engineering. It's when they get a design, say, right, that came out like very expensive, let's cut this. So it's called value engineering, and then you have to redesign it. Like not redesign everything, adjust.
Just a few elements that
he says to you, like he says, I need to cut 300,000 from here or 200,000. So then you pick some of what can be done, so reduce that kind of cost.
So as a young object designer, what advice would you give us to get into the industry?
What I feel, guys, like I can't stress enough that you just draw as much as you can, and communication. I feel like when designers out, when we do designs, like when they have like a beautiful hand drawing, or it doesn't need to be beautiful, but it needs to communicate. Communication is everything. So if you are good with your words or text or drawings, whatever, but it just needs to to communicate. So if I feel like my main thing is have a sketchbook and just draw. Like if you like something, and inspiration you can get everywhere, right? You just go there and see like that roof there can be inspiration for something. So like out of the blue you just come like with this shape that, oh, look at the negative shape of it, but like just keep your eyes open out there, like always open. And research, reading as well is pretty good. You know, when you design articles and everything. But mainly, I really feel like it's kind of have this flexibility of express yourself. That's the main thing. Drawing.
Yeah.
So I feel like another thing that's pretty nice is like when you go out and you have your sketchbook or you have, then go out there and see like what I really like that. So why I like it so much, and then you kind of draw what you like what stands out for you.
Yeah.
Too often we get these sketches, these initial sketches, and put in our presentation for the client.
Yeah, that's okay.
So it gives that human connection.
Yeah,
And then the thinking behind, and then the client gets more like emotionally attached as well, rather than having just massive like
digital
3D
thing.
generated